Hi everybody, Jeremy here from Flatware Creations. Today I am going to be putting together a few bud vases. I'm going to do one real quick and then I'll continue on with the rest of the ones I have. So let's get this thing started. So if you haven't yet, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I recently just got faster bandwidth internet, so hopefully this stream is a whole lot smoother than the last 7 years or so. Today I'm going to be taking spoons and knife handles. Do I have a knife? Yeah, I got one. So I'm taking these knife handles, I take them apart. Sometimes they end up looking like this, but I cut the ends off of the ones that are pinched, or the regular ones I leave whole. And we're going to flatten this down so it looks like that. And then we're going to bend it in my flat wearable bender. After we bend it, it's going to look like this, and then our bud vase that's been cleaned is going to go right there like that. So let's get started. I'm going to switch you to this camera here while I move this one, and hopefully this angle's not too bad. So this camera moves. I'm going to try and make it to where you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully this image is clearer than it shows up on my screen. There we go. We'll do that. And let me sign into, oops. Don't want that. Oh no. I lost my chat. Good morning, Cheryl. Can you hear me okay? So what I use for flattening my spoons is, this is a stainless steel block that I got from the scrap bin up at my local machine shop. And then this is the block that comes with the flat wearable system. Okay, great. If I had my way, I'd make this about the same diameter as this, but square, so I don't have this little tiny gap. I've sanded this down to where it's pretty close. It's close enough so it doesn't leave marks on the silverware. But take my spoon. This is a regular teaspoon. So I'm going to go down until I see a dimple, or feel a dimple start. And then I'm going to go down to the front half. So you can kind of see where it started to bend out right here. Once I get that bend, then I'll go back to the back of the spoon here, to this area here. And then I'll do the front. Pull down the handle, and I've got a pretty flat. There is a tiny bubble here, but we're going to use that to our advantage. And you'll see a lot of times we'll end up popping the bubble from this side. So we already have our spoon covered. Let me switch it back over here. Wrong button. And let's put this one here. So here, what I'm going to be using I've got my anvil, This is a fire brick from, I got it from Lowe's, I believe. It's just a regular fire brick. I cut it in half so it would fit on my vise here. This is a third hand. I believe I have these in the description. Basically, I just put that in the vise. Hi, Monica. I put that in the vise, and I can adjust this. I can adjust this to the way I want, and I have it to where I can spin it around without it shaking around a lot. So here's what I do. Oh, we didn't bend piece. Sorry, I'm gonna put this one back, and we're gonna bend the spoon. Getting ahead of myself here. There we go. So I took and I put a little spoon here. I got tired of pushing my block, my forming block, to the right spot. So this is what I use for this. Make sure it's straight and have almost no pushback, which is nice. So we'll bring this back to here. Oh, and I have Gus in here today. He finally stopped meowing a lot. Okay. We flatten this spoon. So I'm going to start with the pattern side down. So this is the top. I'm going to get it in here just enough to start bending it. And then I'm going to bend that end. And I need my mallet for this one. Some you can bend by hand. Others take a little bit more effort. The other one took a lot of effort. So with the pattern side up now, I'm going to take this, I'm going to tap it up a little bit, and then I'm going to go to the throat of the spoon, bend it, lift that piece up. This piece becomes, guys, okay, I'm back. Sorry. We did that part. Now we're going to come back to this. So now I have my spoon. I'm not quite done yet. Oh, how do I get a mark on there? Oh. Can I get that out? So I got a little scratch on the spoon here. So I'm going to try and get that out real quick, or at least make it not so aggressive. Put my glasses on. Just trying to get that rough bit off of there without taking off the plate. Okay, it's pretty close. Where'd my shirt go? Okay. So now we got it. It's there, but it's not really there. And once we tumble it, it will help hide it. So after I bend it, where did that go? So where, after I cut this, a lot of times it won't sit right. So what I'm going to do is take, where'd it go? That hammer. Do you guys see it? There it is. So this is a brass and rubber little mallet. These come off. This one here broke off, so it is glued and taped. And then this is our plastic side. So whenever these don't sit right, wrong way. When these don't sit right, what I'll do is I'll take, try and get the edges here. And I want it to just kind of flop down on its own. I don't really want it to wobble. If it's wobbly still, I'll take and I'll use either the rubber end or the brass end to kind of tap those out. This is going to be the bottom, so I'm not worried about hurting it. There we go. So next what I do is I put my finger in here and I cup, I kind of cup it in my hands here. And I'm just going to put the spoon into my palm. And I'm just going to bend this down until it starts to squish my fingers. What that does for us, always double check it afterwards just to make sure it's still okay. The reason I don't bend it over first is because it gives me more room to get my hammer in here. So I bent it over here. The next part is you want to see if it's straight. So as we're looking at it from your point of view, it looks pretty straight right there. From my point of view, it looks pretty straight. So we're going to go with that. I'm going to put my fire brick up here. I use a pair of tweezers. These tweezers, whenever you squish them, they open up. What I do is I take and I slide one end in as far as it will go, let it clamp on itself, and now I've got my knife handle held. So I'm going to flip this over. Yep, good. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to put in the V here, or the open spot here, I'm going to put this clip in there and I'm going to push it all the way in and all the way up. That allows me to lift up my, I'm not really lifting, or I'm lifting, but I'm not really picking up. I'm using the tension that's in here to hold and pin down this knife handle. So there's nothing on the outside to burn or melt. You're a long ways from this guy. The next part I'm going to do is, let me see, can I get you in here? I'm going to take my spoon, I'm going to lift up on my knife handle just a touch, just enough to get it onto the spoon, and then I'm going to slide them together like so. See if I can get you in here. It didn't really help a lot. It's still really bad lighting, I'm sorry. So what I'm looking for here, from this direction, is the second one ready? One moment. Let me see. Okay, do you have sound back now? Hopefully. If not, I'll switch to my other mic real quick. What? Sorry about that, guys. Do you have sound now? I don't know why it did that. Oh, because I hit main. Okay. Yes. Okay, good. Whew. I was panicked there for a second. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use this lead-free rosin pour solder. It has flux built in, so we don't have to flux the piece. You can use a little mini torch like this, or you can use a regular plumber's torch. Let me put this up here so I have all my cameras together. You can use this regular propane and plumber's torch. Because I can't find my other torch that with the auto click, I'm going to use this guy. put you right in front of all of my controls. There we go. First, I'm going to solder this little joint right here, and then I'm going to solder the base. I'm just pushing the solder in. I think I can get you better with this camera. I had this set up for see if I can get that. It's a better light. Come on. Alexa, turn off my switch.
Okay.
There we go. That'll work. Well, it would have worked. So first I'm going to do this joint. Then I'm going to do the bottom. Let's get this started. Putting a little curve into your solder will help you push it right in that right spot. So I'm only heating this area right here, and I'm just going to test it with my solder every now and then. It's pretty close, getting closer. There we go. So I've got my bit in there. So I'm only focusing around the base. You want to see all of the cold, or you'll see it heating up from everything moving away. Going the wrong way there. And I'm going to push it in from the back side. Really focusing on the base right there. So, and then once that starts to go, just keep feeding it in there until that solder bead goes all the way around. There we go. That's off. Got my handy dandy spray bottle here. Haven't used it in a couple of days. Are you mad that I bought a new spray bottle? Is that what's going on here? Sorry, technical difficulties. What's going on? Oh, that's gonna be upsetting. But I did just buy a new one. We'll just file that. So, because I don't have a sprayer now, I'm going to just let this rest a second. I'm going to test it. I'm going to test it by slowly wiggling the whole system. I'm looking for the bottom join. I'm looking for that solder to move, so it's not moving. I'll just dip it here in my water. Hi, Gus. Hi, Gus. So what we're left with is a nice clean join. We've got our solder in here. That helps make that second point. This isn't coming apart. I used to toss them on the floor first, just to make sure they weren't going to break. Alexa, turn on my shop light. Alexa,
Okay.
turn on my light. Switch. Alexa, turn on my switch.
Okay.
So this is this one. It is ready. I'll toss this in the tumbler, and when it comes out, sometimes with the knives, even after you've tumbled them and got them all clean, whenever you toss them back in like this, sometimes they can still release some of this stuff. I personally use Dawn dish soap. You don't have to. There's lots of other ways. Slicing up ivory. There's a bunch of pre-made mixes that you can use. I just use Dawn. It just works for me. But sometimes you have to run it a couple of times to get all that grease out. So this will go in the tumbler. Okay, now we can go to work. Done. Oh, one last thing. On the bottom of the knife handles, I take and I make that spot. I use my belt sander, and I just push it in, and I just push it straight in, and that makes a flat spot on the bottom, which helps it to one, have a flatter spot, but two, it helps make more surface area to grab to for the solder. So there's that. Okay, now we can go to work. Just make sure that's there. See where this is at. Okay, so this will be good for that. Let's just change. Okay. So that one's set. That's a great tip. It definitely makes a difference. So let's switch this guy. I wish I could switch my cameras while I'm looking at them, but a lot of times it won't let me. Wrong way. We're gonna be here for a little bit. Alexa, turn off the shop light.
Okay.
Alexa, turn on my switch.
Okay.
Alexa, turn on my shop light.
Okay.
She is not listening. Alexa, turn on my first switch.
Okay.
Alexa, turn on my first switch. Oh, this is embarrassing.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, let's see how this does. Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now? Going. Can you guys hear me now? Hopefully this is working. Hide that one. Main. Okay. I'm like, no. Hide that one. Okay. So I have that. Let's go ahead and test the rest of the cameras. Okay, so you can see me there. We'll go to here. Can you see this one? And then can you see this one? I think I'm going to bump that back to here. Okay. Yay! Thank you so much, Cheryl. Oh, it's always something. So I think I've got everything set up here. We'll go ahead and get to work. That one, switch over to this one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these. That way I have room to put all of the spoons and I can keep everything organized and not have to fight with everything. You go down there, you have your home, just that goes over there. Okay, let's get to work. What's up, Gus? What's up, buddy? Oh, make sure I put this up there. Okay. Switch this over. What's up, buddy? Meow. The first time I had Gus in here. Can you guys hear Gus? Just make my dimple come down. I'm not coming all the way down. And then I go all the way down in the front. That's what helps me get these pretty flat. So dimple, front, back, handle down, front, done. I've taken my bar here. This is actually a breaker bar. now. It's not the original handle that came with it. These are some of the extra forms for the flat wearable press. And then I took right here, this is all just sports tape that I made big enough. My fingers don't touch my palm. That gives me a nice handle to really force down. And I make sure that whenever I'm at the most peak, I'm right here, my shoulder is in line with my elbow, and so I'm not really straining here, and I can put my weight really onto it. Yep, Gus. Dimple front. Whenever you get to some of the different shaped spoons, it's kind of the same thing. If there's a notch, or not a notch, but if there's a squared off portion, some of the spoons have that. Also some of the sugar spoons, they'll have a pattern in here. If you try to flatten those, oftentimes they're gonna split right here on this edge. So I try and use round or oval. You can get away with these grapefruit spoons too. And once you start to get your rhythm, you can get these down pretty quick. You can use a, do we even have it in here? I don't think I've unpacked it. Since I got the 3D version of the flat wearable system, I've just used this. I was using a dead blow hammer. That was definitely a game changer from using just a regular mallet. Some of these are a lot harder to flatten than others. I've had some spoons, just from what they were made from, they wouldn't, I could get a dimple to start, but I couldn't get anything else. I was stood up and leaned on the bar and everything just would not work. So if it's going really hard, remember that pattern. So you try not to use it for things that need to be flattened. I put the rest of those in my wind chime box. Having to get two-handed on some of these. Are you stainless? No. Color is throwing me off. So all of these spoons, as long as I have the knife handles for them today, I need to get all of these bud vases done today so I can ship them out tomorrow morning. Whenever they have the bent ends here, I'll just flatten those out real quick. Saves me a little grief whenever I start to bend these on the forming block. Down, forward. And now OCD takes over. So how's your guys' day going? All I've done to these is I tossed them in my Frankfurt Arsenal tumbler. I think I put in 80 spoons that weren't super tarnished. What I mean by super tarnished is like this. This one is heavily tarnished. So this one up here's the torch mark. They basically burn off everything but the silver. So this tarnished
I would still toss in my tumbler. But once you start to get into this kind of thing, I'll try buffing those out first before I toss them in the tumbler. More knife handles. Good making belt angels. Nice. So it stopped raining here finally. Oh, I mean finally, we only had 2 days of rain. It's not like whenever I lived in Washington. Salmon season is in full swing here. Finally got some cold enough weather. So I got all of these made today. I'll get them tumbled tonight or this afternoon, hopefully. And then once they're all tumbled, I will package them up, ship them out. I have a piercing special order I need to do.
Motion detected at the shop door camera.
It's probably a cat. That was some great fishing pics. Yeah, once I found out that there's salmon up here, I definitely had to make the trip. And this is a couple years now I've been making the trip. It's about 4 hours from here. What's up, Gus? What's up? You want to say hi? Do you want to say hi? There he is. Gus, say hi. All right. We got work to do. Last year, I think we ended up forgot what I was saying. Somebody just asked a question on one of my YouTube videos if I could use a small drill on the frog. And when I was making the video for that, somebody pointed that out after. Like, could you just use a drill bit? Because I was taking the saw and basically just making a circle. And then I had to go in back anyways to make the legs. So if I just marked where, or if I just drilled through the hole or drilled through the spot, that would alleviate me having to do that, and the hole would be a lot cleaner and more consistent with the rest of them. All right, almost done with this part. I thought there was more here to do. Shouldn't take super long. But like I was saying, I just run these in the tumbler with Dawn dish soap. I have experimented with using Scotch-Brite pad. I make sure that it's a used Scotch-Brite pad so it doesn't really mar up the silverware. If you put a fresh pad in there, it will scratch the plating for sure. Yeah, do you agree with me, Gus? This is a hard one. See how the dimple went down really hard and deep? So I'm gonna get the front and get the back. Bring that down. See how crinkled it got? That is just this spoon. Yeah, and it's not going to get any flatter than that. So I'll show you what I do to take these out, or the best I can get them out. If I can't make it work, I can take the handle off and still make something with it. I have used those for wind chimes. When I first started out, I had a bunch that were all twisted up like that. All right, that part is done. I'm gonna switch over to, so the press comes with different attachments. Mini pin, square pin for making sharper points like on your hearts, things like that. They also make one that's a size 6 ring. Size 6 or size 7? I think it's size 7, because this one makes like a size 8. All right, I put my forming block in here. I'm using the shallowest setting, and it's really old and grooved out, and 90% of what comes out of it is at a little angle. So put this one up on the block. So again, pattern side down. I normally like to go in just enough to where I can start to get a little bend on it. And a lot of them, you can do this with your thumb. If you can't do it with your thumb, you can use a small mallet. Try to get rid of that one. There we go. But I'm going to use this mallet. It's got a rubber head and a nylon head. So we got our curve. I'm going to push this in as far as I can. Give her a couple taps up into the throat. That goes forward, and I'm hammering down and back to try and get that really nice angle, because once we tilt this forward, it's going to look like this, and we don't want our handle piece here to be too close to here. So this one I'm going to put over here. Normally I would take and do the flattening or do the bending and then go straight to the block or my anvil and get that flattened out and finished. Yeah, that first love pattern is a lot thicker right here, so I try and get the biggest bend I can get. Go like that. The other thing, I think you guys can see it, is it's kind of pointed towards me. So what you can do is grab it and turn it. So now we're way the other way. There we go. So now it's straight. If you can't do it with your hands, oftentimes you can't, put it in your vise. Put the spoon bowl in your vise, and then you'll be able to turn that handle. And if you need to, you can grab a pair of pliers while this is in the vise, and you can twist it whichever way you need it to go, and you can adjust it here. Just keep an eye on it. Sometimes they bend really, really easy, and then you spend the next 5 or 6 minutes just fighting with it, when you could have had a couple more done in that time. And I'm literally just pushing this straight to the back. That's what seems to work best for me. And here's where I'm pushing before you get to the bend part, my pressure is right there. So it's not quite all the way in. So it's that, push that forward. And for me, that is straight. So we'll toss that over there. This guy's a little guy. I think this is like a 5 o'clock spoon. It's not quite a demi. Gotta remember that this is smaller. So, see, I missed that one a little bit. I switched it over to the rubber end. The rubber end grabs a lot better. Pretty close there. This guy must have got readjusted somehow. And then I just have this spoon taped in there. Alexa, turn off my shop heater.
Okay.
So my my internet that I just got, I never really checked with my old internet provider, but I was actually only getting 10 to 15 megabits upload speed. And I was like, how was I even streaming? So I went through. Another tip too, if you can't get this thing to bend without sliding out, take and push it in a little bit until you get more of a flat in there. Now that flat will allow you to hold it and move it. Just like that. Come on. And if you want, you can still tap it down to make more of a curve up there. Just be careful, because a lot of times they like to go flat. Pretty close. All the pretty closes we can get later. We'll get all those taken care of on the anvil. Just a little off. There we go. I keep thinking I'm almost done because I always have my spoons right up here next to the bender. Okay, there we go. Now we can settle in. How you doing, buddy? I can't even see what he's into now. At least he finally stopped meowing. I'm going to change my mic a bit. I've been procrastinating. My head just hasn't been in the right spot to like really do anything recently. Okay. I think I have more spoons than I have knives. So that will work for me. I have to take and separate about another 400 or so knives. So this one's a little harder to bend.
Motion detected at the shop door camera.
Yep. Alexa, stop giving me notifications for that.
Okay. To turn off notifications, go to the settings page in the Alexa app and click notifications.
Okay, sure. Alexa, cancel. There we go. I always forget to turn off switches, so it's just easier to have Alexa take care of all of that. And I can see it on my phone. What's up, buddy? I didn't realize that was shaking you guys that much. Let's see, I can do this. Should be right there. There we go. Turn off the autofocus. Okay, that should work. That's off. Okay. Hard to get. Yep, I've been procrastinating too. Hard to get going some days. Just wondering what the next step is. Thanks. Oh, okay. I'll go right to the next step.
Motion detected at the shop door camera.
It's a cat. I'll get that taken care of later. Switch over to this camera. Okay, so my next step is I put them on, I can just move that. I put them on my anvil. And they're not quite sitting flat. I'll have like this one here, the front is going up. And you can try it on different things. My anvil just gives me a sound that I'm able to do or use. So this is poking up.
At the shop door camera.
So I'm using a piece of paneling, brown board, and I'm going to tap this middle bit down. That instantly brings up the front, or brings it down. So now I'm rested on the front and back here.
Motion detected at the shop door camera.
Sorry. Let me just get that shut off. I don't even know why she's doing that. I don't even know where to find that. I'm sorry. Oh, that shop light. I hooked up a camera the other day to my door, or on my shop. How about we do this? We'll turn her volume all the way off. There we go. Done. Volume's off for her. Okay, so right now it's kind of wobbly. I'm going to take my rubber end. I'm just going to tap it down on the edges. So mostly flat. There we go. Yep, that'll work. and then I adjust for straight. I look at it to make sure that it's straight. So whenever I put my knife handle in there, it works, or it stands up, right? Put this in my palm, and then I'm just bending it over until it starts to squish my finger. That's up to you. I just put my finger there so I know I'm not flattening it out. And once we've done that, then now this bend here is about the center of the spoon. And that's what we want. I'll go ahead and solder this one real quick since we're here. Bring over my third hand, and by doing everything in one kind of swoop, you can really get a lot of this done pretty quickly. Slide my pliers, my tweezers in all the way. In this V here, I put my clamps. I always call them roach clips. The little clamps here. The handle is below the top of the brick. I'm just sliding that in place. That's putting, so this whole thing here is putting downward pressure on it. That allows it to stick down to the spoon. Gives me a leverage point. And we are way off this way. So to me, this needs to go there. Straight.
Motion detected
Straight.
at the shop door camera.
I turned your volume off. Alexa, turn your volume to 0. So I'm going to heat up this joint first, right here. What's up, buddy? And I'm going to test the solder here. Put a little bit of a bend in it. There we go. So our solder's running. There we go. I just watched it drop. If you hold it there too much, that solder is going to run all the way down your piece. So you just want to kind of touch it there. I think I'm running out of gas here. Switching over to the torch. I want to hear a little bit of push. I don't want it full bore, and I don't want it real small. So I just want a little bit of a push. And I'm aiming for this bottom, right where it touches the metal. We want to get the knife handle hot enough to where it's going to stick. Just keep feeding this in. Watch your fingers. And I forgot my spray bottle. Doesn't work. Normally I would spray this. We're going to give it just a minute to cool down, but essentially this is done. I'll toss this into the tumbler as is, so it'll be going into the tumbler just like this. Normally my Frankfurt Arsenal tumbler, I'll run about 40 bud vases at a time. 30 is normally a good number. I normally just fill it until I can't fill it anymore. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. It's fun having you back in the shop. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to this camera. that other little camera's in my way now. I can't see. All right, let's get, okay. So we've already tapped this up. And by doing the same thing, my OCD is appeased. Check for straight. And like I said, normally I will go straight to the anvil with those. That way, every spoon I have, I just have to hammer down the bowl to make that straight. You're welcome. Hopefully soon I will be paying somebody to edit down my live streams again, so we can turn a couple hour live stream into, so this one here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but the top here is really twisted. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to try and tweak it over. Okay, that's better. And these are just Beadsmith graduated pliers. I have two different sizes here. And then of course I have my automotive ones. I want to get the ones that have, or that touch the whole thing. Makes it more uniform. All right. Oh, I know why that other cat was coming around, because Gus is out here meowing. We've acquired probably 3 strays in the past couple months in the area. I have 2 cats, Gus, and Gabby. That is plenty for me. Okay, that one's good. With my new Wi-Fi, I'm getting, well, it says 500 by 500, but I'm getting about 3 and change download and 3 and change upload. So dramatic difference for me. Let's twist it a little bit. Twist it a lot. There we go. That's one of the most critical parts. Yeah, where do you find the ones that touch? I am not 100% certain. What did they call them? So these are snap ring pliers. I'm not sure. Have you seen Shayna on TikTok? I know that one of her recent videos, she kind of showed what it was. This one's, there we go. This one's going to be a challenge. I think they are made for jewelry. Not 100%. I remember it was definitely a dramatic change from going from these to these with all the leverage, but because these have that gap, you don't get really uniform. And then whenever I switched over to these, everything got a lot cleaner. The bends were a lot nicer. This one's a little harder to bend. It's a really pretty pattern, but because it's so hard to bend, I decided to use it for the bud vases. Whenever I'm twisting it, I'm actually tweaking this piece right here. So I'm holding all of this, I'm holding the spoon, and I'm trying to twist this to where this bends. Okay, there we're straight again. Supposed to be down into the 30s this weekend. The mountains here already have snow. So I'm gonna say winter is here. Well, fall is really here. I guess it is October. Is it October? Yeah, it's October. About the end of September, everything for me becomes just one big busy, no time to think about anything. Pat her down. Tried to bend that over a little bit more. When I'm hammering here, I'm imagining a straight line all the way down to this peg. That allows me to shoot this straight instead of bending it more that way, or tweaking it sideways. So once I get these done, I have another project I need to work on today. It's been long overdue. I'm making a Fox and the Hound pendant with, I'm cutting out the silhouettes. And like my Lion King pendant that I made, it shows like the Lion King was Mufasa and Simba down underneath his legs. But these here are the fox. Actually, let me switch you over. Shut that light off. There we go. So you have the fox, and then down here at the bottom, you have the young fox. And then same thing with the hound. So these are going to end up going back to back with a piece of brass in between them. So what you're going to see is you're going to see the fox, the big purple part, that's going to be brass coming through, and then you'll have the little one through there. It'd be my first time making a pendant like that. So that's going to be fun. Let's see, this one? Yep. What's up, buddy? Hi. See, I have probably 20 handles. I try and do everything in batches. It just makes things feel, I mean, it kind of feels like it goes slower. So that one was kind of bent this way, so I hit it on this edge. to straighten it out. And you can see that they're not all the same exact shape. They have roughly the same shape, but they're not all identical. And for these, I try and use silverware that doesn't have really great patterns normally, because you don't really get to see the pattern in these. No, it's just a touch off there. Every once in a while, I'll talk and I'll just make one kind of upside down. There you go. I also use the same technique for rings. So if you're making spoon rings, using your mallet in this thing makes it extremely easy. And you can see most of the time my left hand is doing the holding the pressure. So I just switched over my left hand, go up. So you see how much longer this piece is here than this one? Whenever I bend this over, this end here is going to end up way out front. So I just flattened out the spoon bowl. So you'll be able to see that here. See how far out on the end of the spoon it is? Like it's going to be almost on the tip of the spoon here. So let's see, this is straight. Whereas most of your regular ones, you're going to end up somewhere here about the middle. Just a bunch of little things that make the difference. Do you guys have any questions about anything? For the most part, I just do everything by feel. And if you can't bend it with your thumb, like this one here doesn't want to bend, I want to take and put tape or something on these two, because once you get up about here, it actually bends up into the piece. But normally if I can get that little bend, that'll let me push it forward a little bit to be able to get. And I'll tap this down. That gets me more of my curve. Oh, it's way off. Done. Like, I really like this pattern, but it has the monogram and it's thicker. I think it did make a couple rings out of this, but it's just so hard to bend. I mean, it's not like stainless steel, but there we go. Glad I didn't have to bend that one. I have a question. Whenever I'm making the loud noises, does it kind of cut out the sound, or do you hear that full sound? Like, do you hear this in full blast? Or is it kind of dulled out? I was working with my settings yesterday, trying to get my mic to kind of tune out those loud noises. All right, how many of these guys I got? 5, 10, 20, 30-ish. Yeah, we'll go ahead and make some more spoons. Some days I end up doing, well, prepping probably 100 of these spoons, just so I don't have to do it for a while. But the next day my arm is like, you have muscles here. Not like pain, but like exercise pain. The nice part about the new Flatware blocks is they have magnets in them. So for the most part, they stay where they're put. And you don't have to worry about it moving so much. I lost one of the magnets. I'll probably drill and put some magnets in here because I feel so bad using this new block for rings. It's so nice. It's my old. So this is the original one, and this is original, and I think that's probably 5 or 6 years old. I've made thousands and thousands of rings, much less all the bud vases I've done, all the snails. Flip that a little bit, check the chat. And this is like a souvenir spoon. I was just gonna say I don't have my glasses on me, but I do. This one is California state spoon. You want to be careful with some of these because towards anywhere where there's a thin spot, they can crack. And especially with these thin state. Oh no, did I do that backwards? No, I did it right. Just looked weird. And this one has that big dimple too. It is wrong. It's not. Yeah, this one has a really big dimple in it. So we'll see what that. I hear it, yes. Dulled out some. Okay, thank you, Sylvia. I have the music on too for that, because once it kicks out the sound, a lot of times it's just silent, so I put the music in the background. It took me a while to figure out that I could do that during the thing instead of after editing. A little off. Another First Love. Yep. Straight. Nope. There you go. I could use the ring block for this because basically that's what I'm doing now. For me, the channel was a little far away from where I needed it to be able to make these consistent the way I've been making them for this customer. These are all wholesale, which is about 90% of my work now because I can't do shows. So I still get to create and make things that I really like, and at the same time I don't have to go through setting up all of my setup every weekend or every other weekend for the whole year. I do really miss doing the shows though. It was always nice getting to talk with customers and get ideas. I have a whole list, a build list. I should write that. I should put that up on the board and then put it up in here. I saved them all because I want to do videos for them all. I think that would be a lot of fun. Just kind of pick one, make a video on that one, and then I just found out, so people have been asking me to make short tutorial videos and then charge for them, which I'm in the process of trying to do. But I found out that in the chat, actually, there's a function now on YouTube that allows you to like give donations and things. So I thought that was kind of cool. I found that the other day. This one, come on, get in there. It's just sliding on me. I'm gonna go there. And this was a little pinch point. You can kind of see the lines there. So I made sure I got that bent. And if you go too far, what ended up happening is your handle is on your base plate there, and you're not even close to the edge, like this edge right here. I have tons of room. So just on those, come down slow. There we go. As soon as it starts to bend, I'll push it in a little bit further, and that will allow me to get that straightened back out and where I want it. All right, we only have 3 left to do. So I've never made the bell angels. I've made bells for motorcycles, wind chimes, but not for angels. The nice part about doing the bending and then the flattening is you don't just sit here doing the same thing. You have like a little extra. Oh, this one's hard. Two hands. That's tight. That's tight. So this is as far as I'm getting this one bent. See, it's just pushing it back. Yeah, that's as far as that one's going. Pretty far that way. There we go. All right. Let's hop over here. Get this guy repositioned. Do. Do you make money from the commercials you play? Technically, yes. I do get money from those, but it's like less than a penny per commercial. So I think average, I make about $40 to $50 a month from all of my videos I've ever made from the commercials. Okay, let's see, there's that. Oh, I wanted this. Change the zoom, or the focus. There we go. All right, so this one is done. I don't have to worry about dipping this one here in the water. Where did I put the other one? There's one. So I like to have a bucket here. Just have a bucket. I'm like, why isn't the camera moving? I just have a bucket here with water. I use it for my I use it for my casting, for making my dragon rings. So this can go over. So all of this is to get these flat. So the spot on my there we go. The spot on my anvil right here is the flat spot. So now I have the tip up. You don't have to do, ouch. I hit my thumb right up against the metal. There we go. That's the sound I want. Done. So now we'll put this in my palm, bend it over till it squishes. We've still got flat. Double check to make sure it's straight. All right, that one's done. This one's landing straight as it is. Just gonna bump that over, check for straight. There we go. This next one, I'll show you how I adjust it once it's in the vise. So if you can't do it with your hands, you can do it with the vise. So this one, the tip is up, and I'm just using this to protect the top because this is our visual surface. There we go. Get that bent. I did put the commercials on low during the lives, and then I put it on normal once the live is over. Right, oh. Where can I put these? What's in there? All right, we'll toss them over there. Sometimes I have to tap out these back edges here because they're a little lifted. Most of the time I use those for, I leave them because they make a nice firm base back here. There we go. And whenever you're bending those, go slow. Okay, so this one is tilted to me this way. So I'm gonna put this in the vise. You don't really have to clamp it down, it just needs to be enough to take that bend out of it. Sorry. So I'm just trying to adjust it over. There we go, now we're nice and straight. Tops up. And whenever you're doing this for each one, it gives your arm a little bit of a break from just flattening everything. Ouch. On the harder ones, I'll use the brass. All right, so we have a little open. There we go. This one is twisted that way. So just put it in there. And I should be able to pull this over. Okay, straight. That one's straight. That's a good one. Straight. This one's already bent. Yep. So this one is sitting right on the heel in that big bump. You can see that big bump right there. We're going to take that out. I'm going to use the brass end. You don't have to hit it hard. You're just going to hit it down. Now we're going to take our rubber end, and I'm using the heel of this to kind of get in there and make everything flat. There we go. That sounded good. Bend it over, double check it, straight, and repeat. You're good. You're already bent. This one has a dimple too. Just going to take that out. Is that tapping really loud for you? So now I'm bowed up and I'm down to the tip. I'm going to start hitting it back here, lightly on the sides. There we go. We got it nice and flat. And it just squished down till it squishes my finger a little bit. I gotta trust this. This is my flat spot. This is not a flat spot, but it always makes me second guess it. That one was really soft. Always try and bend all of the silverware as slow as you can. Not so much that it hinders your production, but if you go slow, you won't break or crack so many, which I guess that helps production. But you just got to be sometimes gentle with them. And right now at this point, it keeps falling backwards because most of our weight here is on the back half. So it's top heavy. But as soon as it makes that flat sound, then I'll bend it over and I don't really have to worry about it falling, because the weight now is over the spoon bowl. So we get straight. Okay, good. Straight. The nice part about the dimples that we have here on this side, our knife handle we'll try and slide down into that groove, which is nice for us. So we're flat. Oh yeah, this is the hard one, and the tip's not really bent, so in my hands it hurts. Can I do it this way? So if I go half, I can still put my finger in there, so I have half the spoon bowl in my vise. Putting my finger here, and I'm going to push this down. There we go. Yep, that's about where it should be. So that was half the spoon bowl was in the vise. How did I miss that? And you can see that once you bend this piece here over, you can't really get all the way back here on the vise. That's why we do that beforehand. There we go. Everything's straight still. Yep. Good. Straight. Got a little bump in there. There we go. I have found a couple of patterns that were really they really didn't want to bend. I don't know if I can get this one out. So I still have the dimple there on the end. Ouch! Finger! And some of the spoons are thin enough that you can bend them. And once we get our knife handle on there, it will be set. So we won't have to worry about it. Straight. So that one was straight, but the tip curve was kind of at an angle. So I'm just putting that angle back straight. Make sure I don't skip any steps here. This is one of the hard ones to bend. Straight, yep. Straight. Another one of the hard ones. And I'm not really putting any pressure on here. I'm just letting the hammer do the work. Straight. There we go. We're almost through them. I had thought about, once these guys were flat, putting my logo on the bottom, or my stamp, but I always forget. I mean, I make so many of them, I should put my logo on them. Oof. So that one went poof really quick. So you always want to check those for cracks. And I did bend that one. Straight, yes. That's what I want. Straight, yep. So it just popped up. Did it again. So I'm going to start from the front and go back. There we go. Straight, yep. So I'm going to try that Vise trick a couple more times. So we'll get these flat, and then we'll start sizing them, or start bending them in the Vise. So I'm putting my spoon in halfway. Put my finger here, and then bend this guy right over. This is actually pretty easy, and that's where I would do it in my hand. That's straight. So it's in there. My handle is above this little rail here. There you go. And I use my finger for reference, just because it keeps it round, or so you don't split it off hard. There we go. All right, looks like we have 2, 4, 6, 7 left. That's nice. Straight, yep. Make sure I go halfway. I mean, it takes a little bit more time, but if you can't bend it in your hand, it's still faster than fighting with it some other way. So you can see this little ditch right here. The opposite is true up top. So this stretch right here is really the only part that I hit. It brings that flat up a little bit. So now you have a better way. You don't have to fight with it the whole time, trying to do individual little taps. Oh, my back is not liking me today. I was supposed to do all of this yesterday, but when I went to Plattsburgh, my car was squealing really badly. So I was sitting in the AutoZone parking lot, and I figured out I just needed to adjust the tension in the belt. So I went to turn that bolt, and really quickly, like hardly any pressure, it just snapped off. And it was not good. It took me probably 5 hours total to get everything removed, get that thing drilled out, and then be able to go home so I'm 30 minutes from Plattsburgh, and I didn't really want to drive it that far with the someone's done it twice. Can you still see down here? No, you don't want to see me. You want to see what I'm doing. So I zip tied. I zip tied the alternator because that's where the adjustment was. I zip tied the alternator. That's it. We're done. Woohoo! Okay. I zip tied the alternator as tight as I could get it. What was I doing here? Yeah, I zip tied it and then went to my friend's house who I knew had drills or drill bits. Okay, so we are set there. I'm gonna move this cord. What's up, buddy? Yeah? Yeah? Tell me all about it, buddy. Really? Is it that bad? Alright, so let's put these where they go. So nice having you back in the shop, buddy. We need knife handles. That's what we need right now. So however many is here is how many I have to ship tomorrow. And then I need to make about 50 more. Let's see, we're getting close to Christmas, so I probably need 75 more for this customer. So start here. And you're going straight up and down with it. That gives you the most pressure. So that's straight that way, not straight that way. There's not really anything that I reference because everything behind me is different shapes. So I'm looking specifically at this to see if it's straight. And just lean back in my chair a little bit. All right, that looks good. Where is my other torch? All right, if I can find a lighter. There's a lighter. So I'm just going to slide this. All right. Oh no, I don't think I have enough solder. So just keep testing that with the solder. There you go. Just ran. This knife handle has a small little point on it. So we're not going to need a ton of solder. And you want to make sure that you're not going too level with your solder. You want it to be kind of up here. Because what will happen is you'll end up touching the spoon somewhere. I still don't have a spray bottle. Yeah, once you're pushing that, even if a small drop comes off onto the spoon, it's so hard to get that off of there. So try and keep I try and put my solder about like this, and I'll just keep it at an angle. Let's see, yeah, it's at an upward angle, and I'm pushing right down into it to be able to build that solder all the way around. So here's how I test them. I'm just going to wiggle it back and forth a little bit. I'm not taking pressure off, I'm just wiggling it so I can see if the bottom is solid or not. If it's not, you'll know. You'll see it wiggle around a little bit. Top's still a little hot, but there we go. one. Put that back. I just got a new shelf kind of thingy that I still have to put together, but hopefully I'll be able to have all my tools right here next to me like I did in my other shops. I had everything hanging on the walls or right next to me. So I'm going to bump this over towards me, twist that around. I want this more in the center or closer to me side of the block. It just makes everything a lot easier. Yeah, and you can definitely tell if this is not straight. And then here, a lot of times the bottom will let you know where that spot is. Hi, buddy. Hi. I'll let you out once we run out of solder and I have to stop the live stream. There you go. There we go. Just a little bit of a push. Alexa, turn on my exhaust. I forgot whenever I changed my internet provider, I didn't come out here and reset all of the smart switches and smart plugs. There we go. So are you gonna adjust? No? Okay. Sorry. I have one little tiny drop of solder on there. I'll see if I can get it on this camera once it dries. Okay, so that's a solid now. Sometimes I'll just take and I'll make a bucket full of water and I'll just toss them in it and just leave them there. Let's see, I need to go to this one. There's the spot. See a little tiny drop right there. Those are almost impossible to get off. Oops, wrong one. These flat ones here, so I've put my flat spot on there, but these are big and flat. These work amazing for souvenir spoons, not souvenir spoons, for your big table spoons. Let's see. Yeah, that looks nice. I try and match up the handles so they look nice with the bud or the handles. I try and make the spoons give a little bit more character to the bud vase. I need to go back. There we go. So again, I'm just focusing on this spot, this joint right here. And because this one is flat, you're going to need a lot more solder to go around. So I've just put a little bend in it. Be careful how much you heat these guys up, because oftentimes the tip of the spoon is thinner metal, and it will start to okay, so because this one's bigger, I'm gonna go in real carefully, touch that together. You want to be really careful when you do that. Oh, I don't have a spray bottle. Because it's real easy to put solder for the solder or the heat to just draw the solder up, or the spoon to pull it out. So be really careful going in after your initial one side. I try and do it where it's even, but sometimes it just pulls up on the back side too much. So that's whenever I'll touch it on this side. Here we go. I don't see the solder moving. There, buddy. So just repeat over and over and over and over and over. Let's see. Oh, I got that straight on the first try. Sweet. Just pull that back. Get my heat turned down here a little bit. And you want both sides of the knife hot on the spoon, so you can heat it on one side and the solder or the heat will pull all of the solder through. That's kind of weird. So what it did this time is it looks like it went more up the knife than it did flattening out on the spoon. So I am questioning whether or not it's even attached. Yeah, I don't know if it's even attached. Yep, not attached. Got a big old ball of... Oftentimes, that is the spoon. Yeah, nothing stuck to this at all. Ouch, that's hot. Yeah, nothing stuck, even up here on the end. Oftentimes that is the spoon, so we'll put that over there. I'm gonna grab the same piece. Okay, it's still hot. Okay, we'll try a different spoon here. That should work. once I heat this up, let's see. Yeah, so I have seen, Kathy, I have seen people use the wire, the strand wire, to be able to suck the solder off before. On the spoons, it gives, watch out buddy, just a couple more minutes, okay? On the spoons, you can get the solder off, but there's a stain that's left from the solder. There we go. Alright, so that part is there. I'm just adjusting everything back. There we go. Take that one. Just gonna give this just a little bit more solder. There we go. And then hopefully this solder will just drop off. There you go. I saw one side drop. There we go. Sweet. So this time the solder came down instead of just riding up on it. Yep, hot. Yep, that's solid. Okay. Next. Okay, so this one took it way up high, so I'm gonna bump this out. It took me really high, which put the spoon hanging off the end. I don't want that, because then the stone doesn't act as a heat sink and take out some of the heat. So that tip, the silver plate on it, is gonna just disappear. And I would rather use more heat and get a faster solder instead of heating it a lot longer. Because I'll be able to cool it off enough before it really sets on that. Wrong camera. Let me switch you back to this camera. There we go. It seems clear on my side. Does this camera look clear? Clearer? I'm hoping with the new Wi-Fi I'll be able to get my Canon to be really clear. So this is my cheap camera. This is my next cheaper camera. And then I have my expensive camera here, which I have to get set just a little bit more, but to me, this one looks the cleanest. Okay. Let's see, solder. If you want, buddy, I'll put you a pillow back there so you can chill out. There you go. By doing the top one first, as long as you're not really heating everything, the top one will help lock things in place. Sweet. I might have 2 more, and then I have to go to the store. I'm almost 100% sure that I don't have another spool of solder. Oh. Woohoo! I do! So this is what I'm using. The Harris solder. Let me put you on a camera that will actually clean up. Lead free. There's the barcode. Okay. Do you want me to put you back in the house? Is that what you want? Alright, I'm gonna put him back. I'm gonna mute you guys, and I'll be back in like less than a minute. Sorry, I've been talking and haven't unmuted myself yet. Straight. I do like using these propane torches a lot better. The fuel for them is a lot cheaper, and I refill my green canisters. And I have some new canisters that are made to refill. So that makes me feel a little bit more confident about refilling them. So I'm just trying to get the junction here nice and hot so it melts the solder, and then we'll let the heat pull those right around. Wrong. There we go. I'm kind of excited to get started on that Fox and the Hound pendant. I'm going to do that one live also, so hopefully that will be today after I get these in the tumbler. Straight and straight. And remember to watch which direction your torch is facing. I don't know how many times I've burned my fingers. Maybe a couple weeks ago, I was in here and I was soldering. I probably soldered 30 of the bud vases, and then I had to go in the house, and I came back in real quick and the whole place was full of smoke, and I'm like, what's on fire? What's on fire? I went around checking everything to see what was hot or what was on, and I couldn't find anything. And then I'm like, oh, I didn't turn on the exhaust. So I panicked, kind of. I was worried. I'm like, nothing can burn up in my shop now. Put you back down here. That one's straight. I do like to use tablespoons sometimes, just because the base is a bigger base, so it looks different. I've tried a lot of different spoons. I think after this I'm going to need a wrench, or not wrench, pair of pliers. Do-do-do-do-do. It took me probably a couple hours yesterday to get ready to go live, which is crazy. But I was also trying out the new mics. They worked a couple of times, but I don't know why they keep changing. It's just weird to me. I think my best audio has been with this wired mic. So you can see I'm giving this way off the edge. And I'm not lifting, I'm just pushing it up. Let's see if this one will work. That looks cute. Is that one? There we go. I like that. Come on. So this spoon is a lot thicker than some of the other ones. So it took a little bit more heat to get that to be able to melt. Not just kind of take off a chunk, but to really melt and connect the two. All right, sweet, it made it. Yep. So I'll show you where this ended up. So you can see this side is nice and clear, but look at this side. I had to put a lot more heat in here. I always want to not do that, but sometimes the pieces are so thick that you just have to get them hot. There's that one. There's that angle. That's good. That's good. Oh. I need to open up my new thing of solder. So I need to remember the next time I go Plattsburgh, grab some solder. But this will more than work for what we're doing, or as many as we're doing. This one here can probably go right there. Go. A little bend in this. I still didn't go get water. This doesn't seem to be taking too long though. It is a lot cleaner solder join than it is when I spray it. So I might just do this. It's not taking too much longer. Oh, wow. Got that one right off the bat. $303. Alright, so this one is closer to the tip. So I want to make sure that my heat is kind of going backwards away from the tip. So I really want to watch my fingers here. There we go, all the way around. Sweet. For my exhaust, I have a 1590 CFM central machinery, what is it called? Portable ventilator. It's an 8-inch. I actually have that right about right about there. It's actually underneath the trailer here, so I don't have that sound. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but I have the exhaust in the background. I have a little vent right there that I drilled through the wall, and then this up here is a piece of ducting. It just has one thing, so as I'm over there, the fumes can roll around from the kiln and from the metal smelter. There. That made a huge difference. And now I'm getting set up for refining, so I can take all the silver plated silverware and like all the bad, just too far gone pieces to use. I've started making a big pile as I'm going through all of my old silverware. That way I can refine the silver out of it, so the pieces aren't just getting wasted. Oop. The cool part about them is that I can take, this one's close to the front too, I can take those same pieces after I've taken the silver plate off, depending on how I do it. I can take those same pieces and put them on wind chimes and paint them. Come on, connect. There we go. And that will be going right there. I have to build a box for the heat plates and my beakers, and I'm gonna hook up the ventilation pipe onto the top of that, and I'll be able to just plug it into that vent that I already have. So while I'm refining, I won't be able to solder or run the kiln, but I should be able to do most of that within a day, so I can do my 3D printing. Thanks for hanging out with me, Sylvia. Have a great day. Yep, so I can still do my 3D printing. I've almost got all the bugs worked out of my dragon ring, which is great. I need to get the file from that. I couldn't, for some reason, figure out how to make a bezel on my dragon ring, and my memory is so bad, I can't remember all the commands. This one's thicker too. Come on. Get down there. Thank you. I just can't remember all the commands. So I hired a guy in Fiverr to do it for me. And he originally made all the different sizes of rings that I wanted. but my bezel, I don't want to have to do a whole lot of work on the ring. Once I get it out, I know I'm going to clean it and get everything nice and shiny again, but to put in those little 6mm stones, I don't want to have to mess with it a lot. So I'd like to print it, get it out of there, and that's another small one. There we go. I'd like to get to where each of those rings didn't take a ton of time to set the stone, and those will be my first wholesale rings that I designed. I have a couple more designed, but I just wish I could remember Blender shortcuts better. There we go. So again, this is a big flat piece. I'm like, come on, dude. Yeah, it just doesn't want to pull it through. There we go. Put everything back in its place so I don't lose it again. People stealing solder. Okay, so I definitely have enough spoons, but I know for certain that I don't have more knives ready to go. I think those two will work good together. And sometimes with these, if you don't have this part here set to where it stands up, it will actually pull it to the side. So you just want to, whenever you're putting it, making it go straight, just be aware of that, because if you bump it, it's going to pull it. So you bump it whenever you're touching the solder to it. So this, especially at this join, whenever you're testing, you can bump it out, and then the twist, the tension that's built up in that will make it just slide out of where you want it. Three, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 left. And then I'll be able to start on the Fox and the Hound. Still jiggly. Still jiggly. There we go. It's definitely leaving a cleaner join. I think I'll do that from now on. Do I have one? So you see the difference in the tops? This one, the knife handle was soldered right to this edge. This one here had a little pinch point on it. Like this one. See how it's pinched right here? So I cut off that pinch. So that'd be like that. I'll just cut this off and I'm left with this. And that will one, it helps keep it neat, and it gets rid of that pinch point. Fancy handle, plain knife. Street. I keep trying to start it right here. I'll have to find where that torch went. I think I have like 4 torches. There we go. Whoop. Whenever I went to touch the solder to it, I touched the knife and it did not like that. There we go. Now it's all touching. Because the knife handle is bigger and the spoon is thicker up here, it took a lot more heat. Still a little jiggly. I have a pair of earrings I need to make too. They're clip-ons. I need to try and get these two turn into elephants, and then I've got my bracelet marked out here, and then these right here. Let me switch cameras. So I've got my bracelet here, and then I've got a pair of earrings right here above the lines. And then these guys become my elephant earrings. So I have those to do today too. There we go. And once those are done, I believe I have everything done, minus making another 50 to 75 bud vases. Let's see. It's nice being back in the shop. I don't know if I've had a bad mental health couple weeks, but I'm here, still alive. So I don't know if you guys saw that, but my my spoon and everything moved. Because once this got hot enough, the heat traveled up and it broke the solder that we put here. Sorry. Oh, I'm on the wrong camera. Sorry, guys. Right here, because the heat traveled up, it unlocked that, and so everything kind of shifted. Like I was talking about earlier, if this isn't all straight, yeah, it moves on its own. I've had them pull completely away before without even knowing that there was a ton of tension on them. It's a good fit. Yay, it fit! I don't know if you guys can see that, but watch this. It actually fit within the groove here. There we go. Not soldered yet. Straight, straight. I like it when they match up like that. Go. I totally bent this all wrong. I think I got too much out. Sweet. Having that pump, that fan underneath the shop really makes a huge difference in noise. I can't wait to get my progressive lenses in, because I should be wearing my glasses, because this is right here I see fingerprints, right here I kind of see fuzzy fingerprints. But whenever I'm not that close, my eyes just freak out trying to go from one to the other. There we go. Easy peasy. Let's see, we got 3, 6, 7 left. And then I'm done with these for the day. I'll probably go get something to eat. And then hop back on live and start getting these cut out. In the tumbler, I set these for about 30 minutes. I'm running 5 pounds of stainless steel shot. It's the 3 shape, no pins. I do have a link for that in the description, and I have a link for my tumbler too. It is really nice if you make a lot of jewelry, or you're cleaning a lot of silverware. It's actually made for bullet casings, running a couple hundred at a time. But whenever I saw I think it was Suzanne Angle from Flatware. I think she was using one, and I was like, that looks nice. And for the investment, I think it's like, it's almost $200. But the time that I saved not having to use my buffer to go through all of those guys. So I can get both in there, but I can't. Straight. Just the time that it takes to buff them out and then shine them up, or buff off the tarnish and shine them up, was just massive. So definitely worth the price for me. I was going through one of my buffing wheels every 2 months. So just in savings for that, it was nice. But I can run about 80 full pieces of silverware at a time in my tumbler. And I'm just using hot water and Dawn. You can use cold water too. I just have a habit of always turning on the hot water. Did I get it? Oh, just barely. Like, yeah, just barely. I almost had a perfect first shot. Come on, melt. There we go. It's real nice being able to grease this no. Don't do it. I hate it when the solder kind of just pulls out a little bit farther than I wanted it to. There's something, yeah, once I get that box built for the refining, I think everything is in its place. So I think I can start putting on, it all moved. I can start putting in all of my storage. I haven't done a tour of the shop in a while. I might make a video of that. It is a mess, obviously. One of these days I'll spend the whole day cleaning. And that should help it for quite a while. I don't really make big messes anymore. Most of it's all about storage and where it goes. Four more. Can you tell I'm getting excited that it's over? Yep. Excited. I'm not excited about breaking blades, so hopefully I don't break too many. It's been a while since I had to pierce out one of these guys. Sweet. I like it when I can watch it go right around. What I was making something a couple months ago. And I was using whiteout to stop the solder from going out of where I wanted it. Oh, I was making butterflies. And I used, is it gonna fit? Nice. I really love it when they do that. There we go. Straight and straight. Yep. Thank you, Kathy. I'll definitely check that out. I do that a lot for sterling silver, but most of the silver plate just comes off in the tumbler. I use my my little crock pot. I use pH down, I believe, as my to get off the fire scale. Is it pH up? I don't see it. I know it's one of the two. I think it's pH up to raise the acidity. Sorry, my brain's all over the place. Try and keep my spoons separated. Okay, that works. All right, 2 more. There we go. Okay. When making the bud vases, I really try and concentrate the heat on one spot. Like silver, you need to get the whole piece hot. There we go. With the silver plate, I can watch the silver flow, and I want to just really heat up the 2 joints that are going to make the bond. I like it when it goes all the way around on the first try. One more. Let's go. Unfortunately, I had too many times where I picked up on one of these and just pulled the whole thing off. Man, now I gotta do it again. Alright, last one. That'll work. Right there. There we go. Straight and straight. Last one, yay! Like I said, I'll probably go grab something to eat real quick, and then I'll be back doing the piercing today for those two pieces. Depending on how long it takes, I'll see if I can get it done. So I'll make sure I have the brass and everything out. I'm using brass shim material. It's really thin. I got one thick enough to be able to protect the spoon. Should go all the way around. Yep, good. Yeah, I got enough of the brass. It comes in a big spool, so I'll just cut it out once I match these guys up. And I did run these through the rolling mill. You can kind of see the backs there. You can see it squished. I didn't go all the way up the handles. I just did this so that these guys will sit really, really flush. So this is backwards, and they have the drill flashing on there. All right, that's the last one. So let's see how many we just make. I'll chuck you up here. There's our spoons. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29. Oh, that's gonna wreck my brain. So we got 29 bud vases done. Yep. So I'll get all of these tossed in my tumbler and set them for about half an hour. I fill it all the way up. Like, there might be that much that doesn't have water. I'll give it a good squirt of Dawn dish soap, and I'll let that run for half an hour. I'll dump out the water. Normally it will come out black or really, really gray, until these guys, and I'll keep doing that until these guys are just super shiny. What happens is the soap can only do so much work in so much water. So if you have a lot of water and just a little soap, you're going to get everything not as clean. But if you put too much soap, everything is going to get clean and it's going to break down a lot of the grease, but there's only so much that of the grease and the particulate that can be in the volume of water. So I'd rather err on the side of more Dawn than not enough. But running it for half an hour is pretty good to get enough of the enough of the fire scale, and at the same time, because the water's going down in here, it's still getting more of the gunk and nasty stuff that's in each of these knife handles. I have had to run them like 4 to 5 times before, but normally whenever it's just the handles, I'll run them 4 or 5 times to try and get them really clean. Basically I just dump in there, set it and forget it, and come back a little bit later. These I'll actually set a timer for, and I'll probably, normally once I get to this point, I'll just have to change the water twice. Twice, and they're normally shiny. I have had to go a couple more times, but normally twice. At this point, everything is good to go. So we got 29, not 30. I was looking for another one. Oh, is this the one that didn't catch? I don't know. No, it was that one. All right. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. If you like this or had any questions, please let me know. Message me in the chat or on my Instagram, Facebook, or Messenger, Jeremy ELSaid. I'm always happy to help, to be able to answer your guys' questions and give you any ideas or ways to work through some of the problems that you're having. I do a lot of that every day. It's no problem to me. I enjoy just helping everybody be able to get to where they can do and create something that they love. And I have to keep my tunnel vision to try and keep it on silverware only. But yeah, there's a lot that you can make, and I've gone through a lot of trial and not tribulation, but yeah, lots of trials to get things done. But I will see you hopefully in a little bit. For this, thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time. Now the question is, how many times do I have to press the stop streaming button to be able to actually leave? All right, so we'll give it a first shot. Bye. Thank you guys.